What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. As you guys know, I still do not have internet, as you can see by the style of today's video. So hopefully in the next couple of days, we will get our internet restored, although I think it's going to take quite a while, which is honestly frustrating that the internet can take this long to come back, but power gets up like that. But I get it, it's fiber optic cables. If they are damaged, they have to restring them. And it's not just for us, it's for the entire county, so it's going to take a while. But it definitely puts a damper on my videos and my YouTube production, so it's a problem. And the problem, expands more so because I'd have to probably travel out and find different ways of finding internet. Specifically, I do have 5G for my phone, as you guys can see here, and I am looking into alternatives to maybe not necessarily relying so heavily on Wi-Fi. There is the Starlink, as you guys mentioned, but that's like a $500 device with a $110 a month fee every single month. So that's something to consider. So there is that original hardware fee of $500 and $110 a month, which is just extra. And I wouldn't even get it if you ordered it now. You wouldn't even get it until mid 2023, late 2023. So honestly, it's not worth it at the moment here, but I was looking for like 5G extenders or something like that so I can get better power, a better signal to hear, or just finding a place like a cafe or something to sit so I can edit these videos. But until then, we're kind of gonna have to make do with this. But today, when the light comes up, because I'm recording this at like 6:30 in the morning, I will venture out and find hopefully an area or a cafe that I can sit at and record these videos so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing and make it a lot easier for you guys to follow and for me to chart. So that's the goal here moving forward. But with that all being said, today is Monday morning, so the charts aren't necessarily updated just yet, but they will be very soon. Specifically, what I'm referring to is the S&P 500. As you guys know, we've been tracking the S&P for quite some time now, and honestly, today's the day. This week is going to be the week where we pretty much figure out what exactly is going on with these charts. As you guys know, if I jump to the weekly, which we haven't looked at here in a while for the S&P 500, and then we'll look at XRP and so on and so forth, you guys can see there is this overall massive descending fractal here. You guys clearly know, ascending fractal here. We've been in this channel since the early start, the beginning, not obviously going into the 90s, but going into 2008, 2009, 2007, pretty much where we had the original housing market crash. You can see here, this is kind of where we started. I'll put it in the middle, 08, 09, right over here. And then you can see we've slowly created this ascending fractal here, this uptrend that we've been, kind of hanging out in for quite some time now. And, since 2009 all the way up to 2021. And of course, 2021 happens, the Feds decide to, print out a ton of money and lower interest rates, and we just see this massive rally to the upside here, swinging us all the way to the upside here. As you guys can see, let me zoom in. And you can see this was, pretty much not something necessary that we needed to do. So the pandemic hit, we fell, we became oversold for the first time in a long time. Then we start printing money here, and instead of the Feds just tampering down with it so we can trend sideways, maybe nearing overbought within the ascending fractal, they don't. They print out more money, lowering interest rates, and we just explode to a price that we have never been to. Extremely oversold, extremely manipulated. However, the prices now have, corrected from where this top is back down inside a more neutral area. So ideally, when we're retesting this top here, you can see on the relative strength indicator, we're actually oversold on the weekly RSI. But the weird thing is, ideally, in a perfect world, this is overbought. This is overbought while this is oversold. It's very weird. I know. It's odd because last time we were over here, we were overbought. But here we are at the top again, and we're oversold. So the markets have flipped because we had a whole year or like 8 months of trending so overbought that it's allowed us to become, oversold at the peak of these markets right now. But because we're oversold, hopefully we don't fall. Ideally, we don't want this to happen. Swinging us all the way down to 2,800 points, it really ruined the markets here. We'd see a massive drop. I mean, if we saw the markets correct this low, this quickly here, which it would bring all the cryptocurrencies with it, and that's really something we don't want to see happen. Let me see if I can pull up some sort of downtrend, or maybe it's here. Yeah, price range. If we actually fall from levels like this high, and hopefully it will let me do it, from the height of here down to this level here, it's going to be a 40% drop. This would be worse than the pandemic that we had. It'd be absolutely insane how many people would get wiped out. And I don't think it's in the Fed's favor to do that. And I don't think they want to do that. But it is something to pay attention to. And it does worry me. Now, why am I talking about the S&P 500 instead of the other cryptocurrencies? Well, I do believe this has a direct correlation. We saw this major correction within the S&P 500 beginning of January, a dump to the downside here. And it's identical with the cryptocurrencies. And that's why it's important. So unfortunately, we now have to use, we now have to look at the S&P 500 as a reference to cryptocurrency. It's done us pretty well so far, but it is something to pay attention to. Ideally, you can see if I jump now to the daily charts, you can see that we are still trending pretty low. We are trending oversold currently. So I'm hoping that this week brings us some good luck and the price of the S&P 500 can just slightly bring us back inside this channel here. That's all I want to see. Us get back inside the channel and then figure it out. The goal is to not continue to trade where we currently are, because if we continue to trade where we currently are, we're going to be heading very low, and it's bad news for the rest of the markets here, because we're going to probably see XRP and these other cryptos start to break bearish too. As you guys can see, if I jump to XRP's weekly chart, the same thing is also happening. We have this beautiful downtrend though, not an ascending channel like the S&P 500, but this downtrend here. And you can see if things start to trade negatively, let me just delete these. They're giving me anxiety. Nope, not that one. This one. Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, this is a pain in the butt. Let's see. This one right here. Can you get away? There we go. Okay, cool. So we're trading down. We're in a downtrend, unlike the S&P 500, which was in an ascending triangle or an ascending channel. Sorry. You can see here we've pretty much been in this, battle, and it's a consistent thing that happens here. We've done it multiple times. If I can zoom in, if it lets me, you can see how we've had, for the most part, this is the second beautiful triangle that's forming on XRP. And this is so hard to work and talk at the same time. But you can see here, the first one happened many years ago in 2017, 2018, descending fractal, trended to the bottom here, broke, had a consolidation, and then we had a bull run to the upside here, because obviously descending triangles have a bullish bias, bullish tendency. And you can see we're having a similar pattern here form as well here, short or long term. You can see since the last rally that we had, which didn't send us into all-time highs, but in April of 2021, we had this beautiful descending channel here, descending triangle, trending downwards, lower highs, and the same higher. We had lower highs and the same lows on the bottom here. We had a support and we had a top resistance, a price ceiling that was pushing us lower. And you can see we're filling in that gap now, coming into contact with that purple downtrend once again. So what does that mean for us? If we can't break through that, we're going to see a very big drop to the downside. Ideally, if we can break through it, we might be able to just trend out of it and actually not be able to fall much lower. I don't want these markets to fall. I really don't. I just want them to kind of stand still, give us some uncertainty, but at least get us outside of these downtrends here. It's a problem. And you can see we've been tracking on the hourly, on the 4 hour, these sort of symmetrical triangles or descending triangles here, these bull flags or bear flags, whatever you want to call them. And they've broken bearish twice now. And we are starting to slow down after we retested and gotten rejected off this purple resistance here. We're now starting to slide lower. So it is something to pay attention to. Let me just move us over so you guys can see what it is that I'm referring to. You can see here again, we've retested it twice. Rejection, rejection. And it's consistent. And they were forming these like big hourly and 4 hour, triangles that I just want to show you guys. If I zoom in once again, you can see here what it is that I'm referring to. You can see the two beautiful pennant flags or descending fractals that we were able to chart and short. They were good opportunities for you guys. You can see the first one that formed here. If it lets me draw it just like this, big channel right here, symmetrical triangle, broke bearish. Second one happened here. Descending triangle, broke bearish, you can see. So we had two consistent, we've been able to track them. But now we're pretty much just waiting patiently for the S&P 500 to open up. And that's truly what we're dealing with today. So we have to pay quite a lot of attention to the way we start to react with this purple line right here. Now this is XRP. We'll look at Bitcoin quick and wrap things up with Ethereum if we have time. But right now you can see Bitcoin is also in a major, and I mean major, descending fractal, as you can as you can see here. So it's not just the S&P 500 retesting a vital support to hopefully get above, but you can see we saw XRP, which is retesting a major downtrend in purple of resistance. And Bitcoin's doing the same exact thing, major downtrend in purple. This is resistance. The goal is to break through these. That's the goal here for most of the major cryptos, is to break through these major resistances so that we can start to swing back to the upside. That is the goal. That's what we're paying attention to. That's what we're waiting for. And you can see if I zoom in, I start to zoom in, you can see the sort of triangles and analysis that we can use here. The sort of these patterns that have been outlaid for us to track and kind of figure out what's going on. You can see if I jump to the 4 hour, you'll get a better view of the current one we were looking at here. If I just zoom out, you can see it's formed some sort of symmetrical triangle, filling in the gap, higher lows and lower highs, coming to some point of apex here, where a decision is going to have to be made. Right here, we're going to have to decide bullish break, bearish break. But the problem becomes if we trend out of this here, we have not only the 4 hour moving average, we have this major downtrend too, which is going to act as resistance and possibly pull us down. So there's a lot of things weighing on us to correct lower. There's a lot of things weighing on us to correct lower. And there's a good chance that we are going to correct lower. The only faith that we have to have here is that the S&P 500 is going to bring us back to the upside. That is the goal here. I don't know what I just did to the Bitcoin chart, unfortunately. Okay, here we go. Good, I didn't ruin it. But that's something that we have to pay attention to. And now looking at Ethereum to wrap things up, the last possible thing here, you guys can also see there's a major, I hate when it draws for me. There's a major descending fractal forming as well. So just like XRP, just like Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, just like XRP, Ethereum is doing the same thing. Descending fractal, we're getting very close to retesting it, as you guys can see here. Sorry for the squeakiness. Every time I touch this phone and I rub past the microphone, you'll probably hear it. But you can see we're retesting a major support level right here. Hopefully we can hold on. And the goal is to retest this purple downtrend here and break through it and get back inside these channels here. We don't have to, have a bullish rally to the upside, but just be able to break through it so we know we're heading to the upside here eventually. Unfortunately, we're not going to know any of this until the S&P gives us that confirmation, and that's why the S&P is so important and why we looked at it today. So hopefully you guys understand what exactly is going on. Hopefully it makes sense to you that we're pretty much waiting on these charts to give us, a reason to buy in. Right now, we have to sit tight. I'm sitting tight because, it's a waiting game right now. We have to be patient. The markets have been closed Friday from 4 p.m., Saturday, Sunday. We've been trading sideways. The S&P is at a low, at a point where hopefully we can swing back to the upside. The S&P 500 on the daily and even on the weekly are retesting oversold. Oversold is not a position we like to be in, but it does usually signal a bottom for a correction back to the upside. And hopefully that can influence these other cryptocurrencies to follow suit and head back to the upside. But there's a lot of resistance up there for all these cryptos. Same thing with the S&P. And if things don't go well, we are going to see a very big landslide to the downside. And that's not something we want to deal with. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. Hopefully the next time you see me, we'll have internet. But with that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.